Hi, welcome back to another video. I'm Dan from On Top Marketing, and today we're going to look at branded keywords and how to rank for them. So if you aren't aware, branded keywords are basically your company's name, and we're talking about ranking for them in Google. It's usually really easy to do, but there's a couple of instances where it's going to be a little bit more tricky. First one that comes to mind is if the company is a subsidiary of a larger company that has an authoritative domain, and if they've got a page dedicated to it, it can be quite tricky to outrank those. I've had that a couple of times, but always been able to do it with the strategy I'm about to teach. Another time it's difficult is if the branded keyword gets searches, but the intent is actually something other than to find the company. That can also be tricky, but is also possible in some instances. And they're the main two, really. So if you are in either of those categories, or you're a new company, then stick with this video, listen to what I'm saying, implement it, and you will rank for your branded keyword. So first thing you need to do is you need to do on-site SEO. On-site SEO is the stuff that you do on your actual website, basically, the SEO tasks that you do. You want to target with your homepage. This is because it's the most authoritative page on the website, the one that's most likely to rank for it for a chosen keyword. So you want to target that branded keyword with your homepage, and you want to make sure that the branded keyword is in the H1 tag. You want to make sure that it's also in the title tag. You also want to make sure that it's in the content about, say, 3 times. And you also want to make sure that you actually have some content on the homepage as well. So let's say a minimum of 300 words on the homepage. If you can get more, then perfect. Don't go to town with it though. You don't want to, bore people with loads of words. But, minimum of 300. So those are the first things. After that, after you've got the homepage optimized, you now want to link internally with your brand name. And I wouldn't advise, unless you're really desperate, I wouldn't advise doing this in the content. It seems a bit spammy. You can literally just put it in the footer like this, a footer link. Now, these are site-wide links, so they're slightly discredited, but it's still another signal to Google to let Google know that this is the brand name. So stick it in there, copyright, and then your branded keyword, and then the year. This year here, 2020, by the way, because if you see this on websites and it says 2012 or something, you can just easily get some PHP that will automatically update that. You can just do a Google search for it. It's easy. So get that in there, and then that way every page. So I'm on this articles page right now, and I've got a link to the homepage, the page that I could, if in this, I'm not doing this, but if I wanted to, that targets my branded keyword with the anchor text of my branded keyword, if you see what I mean. So that's that. The next thing is, if you look in your other pages, like your service pages and your blogs, for example, and your legal pages, you want to get your title tag to actually have that branded keyword in it as well. So if you see right here, this is the web design page on my agency's site, and I've got hyphen On Top Marketing Limited. So that's my branded keyword right there. And having it in these deeper pages doesn't mean that these pages are targeting that keyword. It just means that it's showing Google, look, this is the company name. It's sort of common practice, so Google understands that, and it just builds up more of that relevancy. So stick it in there. The next thing you want to do after that, so this is footer link, and then we also had other titles. After that, what you want to do is you want to make sure you've set up a sitemap. So if you've got WordPress, you're using Yoast, then that will set it up for you automatically. So set up your sitemap and submit that to the Search Console. If you're not sure what I mean by this, I've got a video, I'm going to put it in the description, that explains this step by step, broken down the best way to do this for SEO results in Yoast SEO for WordPress. It's really in depth, and as I say, I literally take you through it every single step. So check that out in the description. So that's the on-site stuff. Once you've done those things, I wouldn't worry about too much other stuff. I'd say do that, and depending on how long it takes you to achieve these things, you might want to actually give it a week or so. If you've got nothing else to do, then move on with this stuff. But if you've got other things as well, do this, wait, see if it makes a difference. Then if it doesn't, now you need to do your off-page SEO. And with that, what I'm going to say, the very first thing you need to do is set up a Google My Business account. this is very, very important, and it's important that you do this first. So actually I'm going to change this so it's number 1. So make sure you do this first. Set up Google My Business. The reason is because you need a address, and you need an address that Google My Business will accept, and it'll often change the way that it's worded, like the way that the order of the address and stuff like that. So basically put your address in when you sign up to Google My Business, and get it verified. They'll send for a postcode, verify it, and then when you see that in the maps, or even if it don't show in the maps, when you see what address it accepts, then after that you want to go out and build what are called citations. A citation is just basically a reference of your business on business directories and things like that. It's quite a monotonous process, but it's well worth doing. And you want to make sure that when you're doing these, you get the name, the address, and the phone number consistent across the board. You also, of course, want to put your website link in there as well. That's the most important thing for what we're actually trying to achieve, but those other things are also going to help Google realize, look, this is a real business, it's at this address, we're pretty sure that it's there because of all these different places that tell us it's there. So that's the purpose of the citations. You can do it yourself, and that's how you'll get the best quality. You could also hire a citation building company to do it for you. I've had mixed results with them, but there are a few good ones out there. I've actually got some videos coming up that I'm going to talk about some of those. At the moment, though, just so you know, I think that Whitespark might be the best one, so give those a go. So that's that. You want to build your citations, and then the next thing, that's on page, off page, the next thing we want to do is set up some social signals. This is something that you may have preconceived ideas about because a lot of SEO people say they make no difference. I'm going to tell you that they absolutely do when it comes to ranking for branded keywords. So set up your Facebook business profile, and you want to put in a link to your website. You also want to write a short, about. Don't spend too much time writing the about. Just get something in there. We're not actually trying to do Facebook marketing. We're trying to rank for our branded keywords, so bear that in mind when you're doing it. And then set up a Twitter account, and also, of course, link to the website from the Twitter account. After that, what you want to do is you want to schedule post on Facebook, and you want to schedule the tweets as well on Twitter. I know you can't schedule tweets on Twitter, but what you can do is you can sign up to Hootsuite for free, use a free account, and you could schedule out I can't remember the limit. There's a limit, but literally, I go through and I'll do 3 months worth of tweets in Hootsuite. It takes about an hour to set up. They haven't got to be amazing. But when you're doing them, what you want to do is you want to every now and then, probably every other one, so every other tweet that goes out, you want to have a link back to your website in it. You also, when you sign up to Twitter, you want your Twitter handle to have your brand name in it if you can, and if you can't, you want something very similar. And then the other thing, and those two are the most important, so Facebook and Twitter for social signals, definitely do those. There's no, ifs and buts, you need to do those ones. And then, you could also build out other ones as well. There's things like Tumblr, they can help, but, it's not as important. There's YouTube, that can help, it's not as important. Just any other social platform, you've got Instagram and all the rest of it. But definitely, as I say, do the Facebook, the Twitter, do the scheduled posts. At that point, I would say, I would actually get rid of those. They're not that important. At that point there, for 99% of the people that are watching this video, you will be ranking for your branded term. If at this point you're not, now you need to do link building. I'll tell you the truth, I've not been in a situation where I've needed to build links to rank for a branded term before, but I do know that there are going to be occasions where that is needed. And if that's the case, your best bet is to get links from other company websites. The way you can do this is if you sell products from a certain manufacturer, for example, you can email them and just say, can you list us as a distributor? I've had a lot of success with that. Another way you can build links that is quite good is doing guest posts. The only thing is, this is, it takes time. So be careful you don't end up spending your whole life guest posting to rank for your branded term, because you probably don't need to. But these people are going to want some sort of value exchange, and that might be money, basically, or It could be really good content, basically, so you're going to spend a lot of time doing it. But if you're in this position and you're still trying to rank for your branded term and you can't, those are the two go-to things. Don't waste money on spammy links, not because it will get you penalized, because it's very rare that it actually does. I've played around with this stuff for years. It absolutely can do. I've seen it happen to people, but that's not the reason why I advise not doing it. The reason I advise not doing it is because it's probably not going to do anything. If you actually track results of a lot of this stuff, you'll find that a lot of the things people are, you know, sort of saying with these things, they don't really do anything, and spammy links aren't really going to help you. But if you get real links coming in, like as a manufacturer or as a guest post or whatever, they can actually help a little bit. But you know, the number one thing with link building, if you can do it, and this is the last closing point with this, for this video, and this is something I'm going to go a little bit more in depth with, but the very best link building strategy that I've found myself is to build tools on your site. And the reason is because when you do this, you will get links naturally. And the reason is because obviously it's a resource, it's helpful to people. And so if somebody's writing a guide and you've got tools on your site and they use your tool in their guide to make their guide that little bit easier and a little bit better for people, they'll have to link to it, and then that link gets traffic coming through it. So you've got an asset on your site that people are talking about, so you know, it builds your brand. You're getting links naturally, and you're getting traffic from those links as well. So it's not just like a Google thing, it's also a actual traffic source at that point. I've got by the way, traffic coming to my site from a Google a forum where people are asking about help with Google ads, and I actually get traffic coming through. I get quite a bit of traffic coming through it from a post somebody asked there about tracking conversions in Contact Form 7, and I'm seeing traffic coming through it like every other day, which is quite a lot when you think about it over a year. And it's all because I build tools and tutorials. I've also, I know that's not necessarily a tool, but I've got what was the tool? I've got a padding bottom tool that I built a very long time ago, 3 years ago I built this, and this has naturally attracted links again because people want to have something to solve this problem easily. So this right here, this is the very best way of building this right here, this is the very best way of building links if you can do it. If you can't do it, then go down this route, but there is often opportunities there. You just got to be a little bit creative with it and think it through. I've got, for some of my clients, just to give a little bit more of an example, I have you know, a lot of clients, as I've spoke about in other videos, who sell you know, appliances, TVs and stuff like that. And one of my clients, I actually created a blog post about how far away you need to sit from the TV, and I created a calculating tool that shows when you're, you know, how far away you are, what size telly you should have. And again, naturally it's going to attract these links because it helps people solve a problem, and it's going to help people you know, when it comes to providing tutorials, that bit might be part of their tutorial, if you see what I mean. So it's really, really cool. Definitely do it if you can. So that's it. But to be honest, this stuff right here, as I said, 99% of people do this stuff. Boom, you'll be #1 for your branded keyword. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe to the channel and comment down below. And if you need help with your SEO, then get in touch with On Top Marketing, my agency, and I'll see you in the next video.